Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be at an innovation conclave, and especially when it's from your own alma mater. So I'm from 1983-87 vintage, so that's pretty far back, but there are people here who are senior to me, so that makes me feel good. We might need a couple of chairs here for my panelists. So there's no intent of creating an innovation factory. In fact, I don't even believe in that concept of a factory for innovation. The fact that there are so few people here actually tells us that innovation is not for everyone. It is a few people who disrupt for the rest. There have been some very interesting sessions. I think Naveen's session was especially, it always excites me whenever I hear Naveen talk about the mega problem that this country has around demand and supply of talent and jobs. I think it's a big problem to solve, and I think what we just heard from Soma is another big area of where does the next generation of service company, where does that come from? Coming from a services company myself, Infosys for about 15 years, that was just the sort of 1.0 in terms of the kind of services that Indian companies were offering to the world. And I think this is probably the next generation of service companies which will emerge out of India for the world. And I agree with you that it doesn't have to be in Bangalore. It can be anywhere in the world, especially anywhere in the country. Having said that, let me get the panelists up here. Nitin, Arko, come forward if you're here. Ravi is here as well. Please, Ravi, come. So this session is less about what these guys do. I think that you have heard from them, at least a couple of them who have made their presentations. It is more about the journey of entrepreneurship itself, and I think that's the part which I and my team really want to be really fascinated about. And it's not an easy study to do. So we don't consider this as an intellectual or a research project. We consider this as a business project of really trying to understand what does it take for an entrepreneur to become one. What motivates the entrepreneur to become one? It doesn't really have to be one answer. But we as a company actually are betting our money behind that question, and not just an opinion. So it's important, and so it's very important to us, and we believe it will be very interesting for an audience here, which I'm presuming is connected to the startup world one way or the other. Either you are yourselves an entrepreneur, you want to become one, you've probably been before, and or you are in the ecosystem in terms of a mentor or an investor and so on. So the notion of entrepreneurship has been always associated with risk and hopefully with return, but the two that logic is supposed to be, depending on who you're talking to, it's either 1:10 or 1:100 and somewhere in between. But the risk seems to be constant, I mean, across. So as coming from someone from an industry where and especially if you're an MBA, what they teach you is how to reduce risk of business, not to take risks. So it took me there's a lot of conflict in my personal life on whether or not I should be an entrepreneur. But I wanted to take younger people here and sort of pose that question on their early stage decision making in their life, in their minds. What went behind that? And I'm here to learn, and hopefully we could, each one of you could sort of also learn from the experiences, because these are not teachers. They're actually the people who are practitioners. And nothing better to sort of come up with our own conclusions based on what we hear from practitioners. So I'm going to sort of start with Nitin, you, and then we can go along. Think about the time when you were still making up your mind. You were sort of slowly transitioning in your mind first that you are going to become. Can we turn this off? I don't think we need this. And we can even turn on the lights, because this is really a sort of a speaking kind of a session and not presenting kind of a session. So think about that. I think you said 2011 is when you sort of started off, and that's the year you graduated as well, a few months before that. Coming straight out of college, I mean, back in 2011, it was not that fashionable to become an entrepreneur. Now it's become a lot more interesting and a lot more celebrated. So think about that time and say, when you first thought about it, tell us all here, what went through your mind? Who did you go to? Who did you convince? And what reactions did you see from friends, from maybe your prospective co-founders, family, friends, and so on? So I think why I'm trying to do this is not just to create a story out of this, but also to sort of hopefully bring out that this is something which may have happened to all of us. And as Hemant said, if you solve a problem, get a problem, solve it, and just form a company around it, and that's the way to do it. Really, I mean, so many people don't have the courage to do it, right? He had the courage to do it, but many of us didn't have the courage to do it. So what is it that he had and I didn't have? We all saw the problems. We didn't form a company around it. And here are 3 people who are doing. So I'm sort of, that's the objective of this session. So while there will be some interesting stories which will come out, I'm sure, which we'll all enjoy, but I think the important thing is how these people actually dealt with that situation, how vulnerable they were, and they still sort of survived and thrived. So Nitin, first you.
Hi, good evening everyone. Like if I talk about my entrepreneurial journey, like I'm basically into animation and design. So like storytelling is something I'm good at. So like whatever I do, or it's good or bad, I can create a story out of it. So I'll try to narrate whatever experience I had in like some comic manner. So like I had like science, maths along with fine art in my higher secondary. So again, that was some unique combination I had. In fact, I was the only one who took that. So I had that inclination towards art and design, but I had that clarity, like I'm not that patience-full person who can do fine art and things like that. So I was clear about that, like what I don't want to do. So I was sure about that. I don't want to be an engineer. Like I had that conversation with my father, like Papa, engineer banunga to acha nahi banunga, so please let me leave and do what I like. Let me do what I want to do. So BIT was like one accident actually happened with me. Because we all know BIT as the technical institute. Nobody know, even today, nobody know BIT as like some creative or design institute. But yes, they have one course, Bachelor in Animation Multimedia, which they started. Like they were the pioneer who started a degree course in animation back in 2005. So I was from the pioneer batch. I did my Bachelor in Animation Multimedia. Then later on, I was the one who actually opposed like they should not start masters, because there was no infrastructure, no library, no resources. But I had to take admission in masters, and again, that was an accident. So in my master, I did some specialization in communication and advertising. So animation was very new to India by that time, 2004-05. Like IT की तरह animation भी ऐसा हो रहा था कि boom पे जाएगा, लेकिन चीजें ऐसे जाके फिर वैसे आ गई थी. तो again, even in that case, I was sure कि animation नहीं करना है मुझे. मतलब yes, I'm interested in telling stories. Yes, I'm interested in expressing myself, for doing the work for people around me, be it brand, be it companies, be it any initiative, be it NGOs. Yes, I want to express, and I don't want to limit myself on a medium. So even like when we started, like Indibni, the current company I'm representing, is not the first initiative I took. The very first initiative I took in 2009, that was Indie Animation. So again, the agenda was to create one web portal, kind of Wikipedia, where you can find each and everything about Indian animation. If you see animation is very parallel to cinema. It's like 100-year-old thing. जब पहली animation film बनी थी, like it made in 1912 from Dhar Falke. तो एक 100 साल पुरानी चीज़ है, उसका कोई डॉक्यूमेंटेशन ही नहीं है. मतलब आप अगर हम बात करें कि आज जितनी भी एडवर्टीजमेंट हम लोग देखते हैं, 90% एडवर्टीजमेंट आर मेड ऑफ एनिमेशन एंड VFX, बट वी डोंट नो अबाउट द इंडस्ट्री, अबाउट द पीपल, अबाउट द कंपनीज हु आर डूइंग दैट काइंड ऑफ वर्क, अवेयरनेस इन दैट सेगमेंट. सो द initial idea was to bring everything on that platform. We did it. It was again like the college project only. So definitely that has no revenue model, and we had to shut it down or just discontinue it. Then we thought of something in terms of advertising and design. We started Indibni. Like there were 5 people who started it, and all were my batchmates. So same people, same mindset, same qualification. Definitely things were not going to work, because even that time we were not like, we just wanted to do something, but we had not clarity about the job description and who is going what. एंड पेशेंस नहीं था, मतलब एनर्जी लेवल बहुत अच्छा होता है जब आप चीज़ें स्टार्ट करते हैं, लेकिन एक 6 महीने के बाद में, फिर 1 साल के बाद में जब आपकी नीड्स बढ़ने लगती है, आपको चाहिए कि नहीं इतना पैसा तो चाहिए आपको सर्वाइव करने के लिए, या फिर अगर मैं जॉब करूँगा तो इतना पैसा तो मैं आराम से कमा लूँगा, या फिर आई डिज़र्व मोर, काफ़ी चीज़ें होती है. तो लाइक 3 लोग निकल गए और केवल 2 लोग हम लोग रहे. हम लोगों ने काम करना स्टार्ट किया एंड वी सर्वाइव लाइक समहाउ. वी डिड ईच एंड एवरीथिंग जस्ट टू मेक इट सस्टेनेबल. मतलब जब सबसे पहला लोगो डिज़ाइन किया था तो 500 रुपये लेता था, आज उसका 100 गुना लेता हूँ, और उसके अंदर भी लाइक आई हैव लाइक 3 पेज ऑफ टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन. ओनली इफ़ यू आर एजुकेटेड इनफ एंड यू हैव सेंसिबिलिटी टू वर्क विथ इट, देन ओनली आई कैन इन्वेस्ट माई एनर्जी एंड टाइम विथ यू. देन इफ़ नॉट, देन सॉरी बॉस.
No, let me stop you there a little bit and I'll come back. I think you touched upon quite a few points, and I think one, of course, you said you were more clear on what you didn't want to do when you got started rather than what you wanted to do. And then when you started doing something, it was not necessarily a business venture, but it was something which you loved to do and you wanted, and you thought I wanted to explore. Yeah, so it's an area which you really want to explore. Not sure how we're going to make money in this and so on. And then you touched upon quite a few other points of picking those people who are around you rather than having a very grand vision of who you will need over a long period of time. But basically there are friends who are around you. These are accessible people who like you, you like them, they like your idea, you respect them. So they all come together. There is no guarantee that these people are going to be with you for a very, very long run. If yes, in sort of the company that I come from, that happened with some 6 co-founders were together for 30 years, but it rarely happens. And so that's an interesting, the focus of this session was to basically look at that phase, which we call phase 0, and see where that spark is missing in those who are not taking that risk, right? And maybe it's not missing at all. It's like, oh my God, he has got all the same problems that I had and he went ahead and did it and I didn't. So over to you, Ravi.
So
why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, my name is Ravi Shankar Mishra. I'm 2004 pass out. After BIT, went to XLRI, then joined Tata Group for a while, worked with Amazon, and I'm currently running a healthcare venture called Medinfi. So for me, it's largely been about solving social problems. That's what really excites me. Did that as a part of BIT, and then XLRI started a social committee. So, and every time I've faced with a problem that takes my sleep away for a fair enough time, I like to do something about it. But in this particular case, having spent last 4 or 5 years with e-commerce and having joined these companies at a fairly early stage in top first 5-6 people to join both Jabong and Amazon, I learned about using technology to scale. But I think to your point about that initial phase, so when I was encountered with this problem of trust deficit in healthcare, it was a very tricky timing because I just got married about 2 months ago. So the first challenge was to get my wife on board. But luckily, not only did she agree to kind of support it, but she in fact agreed to be the co-founder and help me get the first set of problems addressed, right? And in fact, this is my second venture. I left Tata Group and started my first company. There the challenge was even more interesting because I didn't have any money. So I put my car on the block because I wanted first couple of lakhs to buy, to kind of get an office space, and I went home. So my dad was very furious about it. He's a government servant based out of Ranchi. So he didn't talk to me for 6 months. And yeah, I mean, I was fairly young at that time, so it was tough. But then today, when I go to his office, he has, cutouts of all the interviews that have been printed about my current venture. So I think that's a huge transition, but it takes a lot of, I would say, in fact, I'm really inspired by Mr. Jeff Bezos, who is the founder of Amazon. So he says this thing that if you're really starting something, be prepared to be misunderstood for a fairly long period of time, because eventually when it will become success, then there'll be a lot of retrospective stories built around it. But this journey of pain, I'm sure many people here who spoke have found it. So it's not different for anyone. I'm sure my co-panelists also feel the same.
So let me have a follow-up question on that. So what kept you going in the face of that first venture? I mean, what was pulling? I mean, we heard what was not so great about, you know, your own dad not speaking to you for 6 months, and I'm guessing there are other people who are naysayers in that. What kept you going for that 6 months, that first year?
See, in fact, when I passed out from BIT, I had a gold medal. So in Ranchi, it's a big thing, and I was interviewed by the local press. So if I see the interviews today, the statement was, "Apni company kholunga." So I think for me it was very clear since the day I started my career, and I don't know. I think it's a bit of madness. Like if I feel it's right, it's right. So now they have given up. So it's just the fact that I'm getting some money home is good enough.
So you had made a commitment to yourself.
Yeah, I think it was more about being clear in your mind in terms of, and not really bothering too much about what the peer and the society and the family. As long as you know you're not doing anything wrong, and you can take care of yourself, not be a burden on anyone else, I think it's fine.
Awesome. An awesome story. Arko?
Yeah, so it's working.
Why don't you, you've already given a presentation. People came after that, they might not know you.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Orko. I'm yet to graduate. I will be graduating from this year. So my dream of becoming an entrepreneur started like the previous year, last summer. So I was working with OYO rooms. I got selected as an intern in OYO rooms. I was working as a data analyst. And for the first 1 week or so, I was asked to make Excel sheets. I was working on R programming. I was doing big data. I was drawing regression lines, trend analysis, doing all those stuff. But after a few months, I realized, like, hey, wait, it's going all wayward. Like, I've been doing digital electronics. I've been studying analog electronics for the past 3 to 4 years, past 3 years, and now I'm doing this. And I have a passion for all electronics, right? And I'm doing all wrong. So I thought that, yeah, it's time that I had an idea. It's all like I had this idea right from the first year. I used to go through all those technical books and all. I had this idea just from the first year. So after that internship was completed, I approached my mentor, Dr. Aminul sir, and I asked him, can I do it? So the only question he asked, are you confident enough? So he said, like, sir, yes, I am. I can do it, because in any case, and it's worth taking the risk. Because if you are not taking the risk, you cannot judge afterwards. Like, I was in a situation, I knew that even if it wouldn't work, I was satisfied by myself that, yeah, I have at least tried it. Without trying it, I won't let it go. So I did that, and I started this venture.
One question for you. Do you think entrepreneurship is for just a few, or it could be done by?
No, if you have a confidence, if you know your idea is good enough to tackle all the situations, then it's fine.
So you have to be having a confidence.
Yeah, the confidence is the main key.
You should have an idea, and you should have a confidence.
Yeah,
in it.
because I have people, like I have friends, you keep on saying, "Arey, tere se nahi hoga." So I ask them a simple question, why? To which they have no answer. I just ask them why, to which they have no answer.
So you brought a couple of, you want to say something?
I'm just adding one more point, like entrepreneurship is something for people who actually see, don't just look.
Okay, it's profound. So you brought a couple of points. One of course on the confidence, and I think you talked about confidence as well, Ravi. But you also talked about mentor.
Yeah.
And I want to go around and see, what has been your experience if you've actually approached a mentor or had a mentor or multiple mentors? And what is the value that a mentor must bring for you, for him or her to be, somebody that you want to spend your time with? What would be your opinion on that?
See, the thing is, a mentor is someone who is an expert in that field. Like, I approach someone who is expert in the field, right? So see, just I told you, like there are several friends. If I ask my friend, can I do it? They will definitely say maybe, maybe not the thing. But it's a mentor who is an expert in the field. He will be able to guide you better, because he has that experience in that field and he knows you. He knows better than you, because you have been working with him. I have been working with my mentor for the past 3 years. So he knows me better. He knows the capabilities that I have. So if you ask your friends, they will definitely say, because some of them are like, they will say out of jealousy or all, they will say you can't do this. It's obvious. But the thing that I ask myself, like, are they experts in that field? No, they have only 3 years of experience, but a mentor is having almost 20 to 20 years of experience. They know better.
So for you, a mentor is definitely someone who has more experience in the field that you are sort of entering in that field. Ravi, any other take on that?
Yeah, in fact, in my first company, I had 5 advisors. And unfortunately, the company didn't work. And I think I didn't really leverage my advisors. They were all very reputed professionals. But in my current venture, I have 20 angel I have converted all of them to invest into this company, because I think the value, how much value you get from a mentor also depends on, are the interests aligned. So that's one different thing I'm trying here, because my ex-boss is one professor from my alma mater is actually invested in this company. So now the interests are completely aligned. And that helps me leverage. And in fact, we've said no to a lot of VC funds, because most of these people are either from healthcare or technology. So I kind of leverage their rich experience, global experience, into solving some of the complex problems we are trying to do in Indian healthcare.
And it's very interesting, because your mentors are also your investors. But do you believe that needs to be the case, or they can be a very valuable mentor even without being an investor?
I'll get driven by my experience, my first company.
I mean, that's your experience,
I don't think there is much value in pure play mentorship without there should be some, investing may not be the only way, but there has to be some alignment of interest, something beyond just knowing that person. That helps you get more value.
So you believe the skin in the game is important as well?
That's very important, yeah.
Nitin?
Well, like, I agree to that, but I'll differentiate. There are two kind of people. One, people who you can actually term it mentor, or you can say your initial investors, or people actually who believed in you, जिन्होंने आपके साथ में पैसा भी दिया है, आपके साथ टाइम भी दिया है, और जिनको आप बहुत लंबे वक्त तक अपने साथ में रखना चाहते हो. मतलब एक हो गया बिल्कुल फ्यूचर पर्सपेक्टिव के हिसाब से, और लेकिन मैं जिस तरीके से चीज़ों को डील करता हूँ उसके अंदर मैं पास्ट को भी उतना ही वेटेज देता हूँ. इवन पीपल हु गाइडेड मी व्हेन आई वाज वेरी लिटिल, एंड चाहे वो मैं अपनी स्कूल के अंदर था तब जो मेरे मेंटर थे, उसके बाद कॉलेज के अंदर जो रहा, उसके बाद मैं इंडस्ट्री से अराउंड हुए, तो अलग अलग लोग हैं जिन्होंने अलग अलग वैल्यू मेरी लाइफ के अंदर ऐड की है. और मैं ये बिल्कुल स्ट्रांगली बोलता हूँ कि ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्होंने बस एक बार वैल्यू ऐड कर दिया उसके बाद में उनका कुछ इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं है, क्योंकि वो अभी भी ओवरव्यू के ऊपर चीज़ों को देख सकते हैं. और बहुत ज़रूरी नहीं कि सबके सब लोग सेम इंडस्ट्री से हों और सबके सब लोग बिल्कुल एक्सपर्टाइज हों उस फील्ड के अंदर. हमें ऐसे लोग भी चाहिए जो बस बाहर से चीज़ों को देख के बता सकें. हमें मोटिवेशन करने के लिए भी मेंटर चाहिए. मतलब समटाइम वी जस्ट स्टक्ड इन, लाइक काम में हम बहुत फंस गए हैं, केवल अपने प्रोफेशनल वर्टिकल को स्केल कर रहे हैं, आपका सोशल और आपका पर्सनल वर्टिकल है वो बिल्कुल गायब ही हो गया है, और आपका इंटरेस्ट ही लूज हो जाएगा. मतलब yes, professionally you are growing, but at the same time you are losing so much. So you need people around you who are your mentors, advisors, or you can just say guide, who are actually keeping you, मतलब आपको ट्रैक के ऊपर चलते रहने के लिए हमेशा आपके साथ में रहेंगे. They are just with you. और उसके अलग वर्टिकल्स हो सकते हैं कि किसको आप किस तरीके से अपने साथ एसोसिएट करना चाहते हो, बट यू नीड टू हैव मेंटर्स फ्रॉम डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स, नॉट जस्ट योर प्रोफेशनल एस्पेक्ट.
So do you actually make a list of people that you want to approach and sort of see if they can get their attention and sign them up eventually, or ye matlab it's an accident that you meet people, okay, this is a great guy, I should talk to. I mean, do you go about it in a more planned way, or
it can't be just a step by step or spontaneous. It's more like I'll say just baby steps. You have inclination towards it, you put some efforts into it, and if things works on both sides, definitely it will work. But अब एक जना ऐसा है जो मुझे लाइक ही इज़ नॉट वेरी वेल नोन पर्सन, ही इज़ जस्ट लिमिटेड टू अ वेरी स्मॉल एनवायरनमेंट, तो मेरे को उनके पास जाना पड़ेगा अगर मुझे वास्तव में कोई चीज़ चाहिए. क्लैरिटी ऑफ थॉट्स, लाइक द गाय लाइक हु टॉट मी फाइन आर्ट, ही लिव इन लाइक सम आइसोलेटेड एरिया, बट डेफिनेटली आई नो कि जब भी मैं वहाँ जाता हूँ तो आई हैव अ क्लैरिटी ऑफ माइंड.
So you guys, I mean, you talked about multiple mentors as well. How do you said
I have
one
only
person,
one mentor, yeah.
one
Yeah,
person.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
so let me ask you that question. How do you go about seeking mentorship, and are you even, you believe you're getting the mentors when you need them, or you're still not getting the mentors where you need them and when you need them? It's just making do with people you already know.
For me, initially, it was about having some people to sound off my ideas. So maybe I spoke to about 10 people who were aligned to my value systems. I think that is extremely important. And then some of them kind of decided to take the next step. So it is, for me, it was more about reaching out to people to kind of sound off what I have in my mind. And now it's come to a stage where it's the other way around. A lot of people reach out to me in terms of getting involved. But I think initially it is about having some people to sound off and brainstorm in terms of what you're thinking.
So let me ask you, when was your first company exactly? How much was it before, right after Tata Technologies, you said?
No, I was in TAS, Tata Administrative Services. First company was 2009 to 11, and then this I started in 14.
Okay.
Like I just wanted to add one more point.
Sure.
For mentor, like even I wanted to add this point in previous question as well. Parents, like they are the people who actually believed in you at first place. हो सकता है किसी के पहली बार में नहीं करते हैं, थोड़े टाइम बात करते हैं, लेकिन दे आर ऑलवेज बिहाइंड यू, चाहे वो सीड फंड डालना हो, चाहे आपको मोटिवेट करना हो. तो येस, लाइक माई पेरेंट्स, लाइक दे आर माई मेंटर्स एंड दे आर इन माई एक्चुअली मेंटर लिस्ट.
Okay, good. So, so the question that I was getting to, and with sort of, I know we've got little time this time, so I'll throw it open to some questions from the audience. Do you believe it's good to start younger or start later when you have more experience? So let me first ask Ravi this, because you actually got some experience before you started, and then we'll go to the others who are trying this before they get any work experience.
Honestly, I've met, I mean, KFC was started by someone beyond 60, right? So I don't think, and I think he kind of echoed the same thing. If you have the problem, just do it. So I don't think it's about the timing, because it's a fairly long journey, and all that will over a period of time will just fade out. Yeah, it's about what keeps you awake, and if it's happening more than a few nights, then maybe it's time.
Any conflicting views on that?
No, age is just a number. If you have a passion, if you have the confidence.
So the important thing is to get to the passion point.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'll just add one point. Yes, I do agree with what my fellow panelists are saying, but at the same time, I believe like you have to check your finance. अभी आप ही घर में कमा के लेके जाने वाले हो जिससे घर चलना है, तो आपका प्रायोरिटी वहाँ पे ये हो जाएगा कि भैया पैसा चाहिए, आइडियाज़ गए साइड.
But that has nothing to do with age, or it has something to do with age?
I'm just saying like the age is just one opinion about it. How like when is the right time? I'm just saying like if you have the financial backup thing, like आपको अपने घर वालों को पैसा नहीं देना पड़ रहा, आपको मालूम है खाना मिलेगा, जगह मिलेगी, तो वो आप कभी भी कर सकते हो. लेकिन आपके पास अगर कुछ लाइबिलिटीज़ हैं तो वो लाइबिलिटीज़ पहले आएंगी. मतलब आप अगर एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप वर्सेस लाइबिलिटीज़ की बात करोगे तो लाइबिलिटीज़ हमेशा पहले आएंगी.
So I think you're being very diplomatic and saying आप लाइबिलिटीज ले आओगे, उसके बाद आप नहीं कर सकते हो ये चीज़.
कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है, कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है. एज इज नॉट द नंबर. आई एम जस्ट एडिंग वन मोर पॉइंट.
Yeah, I think been very frank answers from the panel here. I'll just open it up to the audience. I mean, keeping the topic in mind. Anybody have a question for these three bright people? Yeah, Samir, please.
What age you left Infosys?
I was 45.
And same questions I put to you. Seed to sapling, like what drove you?
Infosys. I was very curious about this. What happened to me was, I think a lot of my questions were answered by the time I was 45, right? And they were not necessarily pretty answers. So I said, look, enough is enough. While I can still walk, let me go do something,
Yeah, sure.
right? So I'm not sure. Maybe I should have followed Hemant's plan, and he had told me when I was associated with a startup and we met in Mumbai. He had told me like this is the right path to take, and then I didn't. But I don't regret it because life takes different kinds of turns, and and takes you in different directions. I don't think life is about regrets. It's really about decisions. I did not take a decision at that time because I did go with I was working for a startup. I took their business plan. There were 3 people. I was the only one who had not put the money in there because I didn't have any. I took that business plan there were no venture capitalists back then, so I took that to the bank, who was saying that they were going to help us. And then the bank told us, what is your security that you're going to give? And we were a software company, so he said, we don't have any security. He said, then there is no loan or there is no equity. And I, in fact, went to the first venture capital company of the country also at that point. I don't want to name, but it's easy for people to guess. And they asked me the exactly same question. And it was like, oh my God, the bank and the venture capitalist is asking the same question. It's almost, then I said, well, I don't think I understand this really well. So I didn't have the courage, I didn't have, certainly didn't have the courage to do it at that point in time. So I ended up doing something else. But any other question for them that you want to have? Or?
Why not a bank loan? Why VC funding? Why not a loan or why VC funding, or why not money from the customer itself?
We haven't thought about, like, my project is like, after what I am planning is to do is like after completion of that entire thing, after modeling thing, we will approach for funding. Haven't thought of that.
You?
Like even, please.
So I think bank loan is good for people who kind of figured it out how to pay it back. And generally banks give money to people who have money. Unfortunately, entrepreneurs don't have both these things. They don't know how they will pay it back, right? And they don't have money. So happy to take bank loans provided they're ready to give. But at Medinfi, we have said, in fact, no to very reputed VCs. So we have not taken VC money because we are not in 3 years, 10x kind of returns. We have taken money from people who understand either of some part of our problem, either healthcare or technology. So it's been angel investors primarily.
And what do they look at?
Initial ones.
In terms of like how will you pay back, and 10x nahi hai to 5x hai, 3 years nahi hai to 7 years hai, or in terms of these two parameters?
To be honest, most of them have written this off. And no one has invested half their pension fund into this company. That's why, in fact, I have 20, so that, and we have raised $500,000 so far. It's worked out, but then we've also not signed any term sheets. So it's different in our case, but generally, I would say that till we have figured it out, it's better to do as you said, like get it from customers or someone whom you know or trust. Because you may commit far too much at far too early stage. That's the risk.
Okay, this might be unsolicited, but मैं ये discussion सुनी तो मैं भी I went back to 87 when we passed out from college. मैंने 7-8 साल जॉब किया, 4 साल एस्कॉर्ट्स में, यामा मोटरसाइकिल डिवीजन. तब नई नई कोलैबोरेशन होती थी यामा एस्कॉर्ट्स. दैट RX100, हीरो होंडा इतनी फेमस नहीं थी जितनी RX100 मोटरसाइकिल थी. राजीव ओझा के पास भी थी. So and then for 4 years I was with the printing machine making company, and 8 years into service, from day one probably, when I was in escorts, तब जब तुम कॉलेज से पास आउट होते हो तुम्हारा ड्रीम क्या होता है? विप्रो में लग गए साहब, विप्रो में लग गए और HCL में लग गए तुम्हारे दोस्त, तुम्हें कोई ब्रांड चाहिए तो तुम एस्कॉर्ट्स पहुंच जाते हो. लकीली पहुंच गए. यूनिफॉर्म मिलती थी पहनने को, एयर कंडीशन इंजन असेंबली थी, रिसेप्शनिस्ट अच्छी थी, यूनिफॉर्म कॉलेज की कंपनी की ट्रांसपोर्ट आती थी टू पिक यू अप. So many basics were covered. It was very fascinating. But all got over in 1 year. डिवीजन ऑफ लेबर इतनी स्ट्रांग थी कि अगर मैं एक ग्रेजुएट इंजीनियर ट्रेनी हूँ GET एक प्रोडक्शन शॉप फ्लोर पे, तो मेरी जॉब प्रोफाइल स्टार्ट और एंड हो जाती थी इस बात से कि कितने पीस शाम को बने, 250 मोटरसाइकिल बनी कि नहीं. आई मीन 250 मोटरसाइकिल भी नहीं, मैं जिस पार्ट का इंचार्ज हूँ वो वाला पार्ट 250 पीस उस असेंबली लाइन से बना कि नहीं बना. आफ्टर 1 ईयर इज ऑल, वो कैंटीन मिलना है, फ्री लंच मिल रहा है, ट्रांसपोर्ट मिल रहा है, इस सब का चाम खत्म हो गया. तो आई वांटेड मोर ट्रबल, अ बिगर जॉब. पेन ये होता था किसी दिन छुट्टी मार लो, अगले दिन फिर भी एस्कॉर्ट चलती रहती थी. तो लगता था कि ये क्या हो गया, मेरे ना आने के बावजूद भी बंद क्यों नहीं हुई ये कल. फिर मैंने अपनी कंपनी शुरू की, एंड आई एम इनटू मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर. आई हैव 2 फैक्ट्रीज नाउ, वन इन जम्मू, वन इन गुड़गांव मानेसर. वी आर इन टेलीकॉम, ऑप्टिकल फाइबर केबल, टर्मिनेशन एसेसरीज. सो रियलटेल इज अ कस्टमर ऑफ कोर्स. इतना सारा आप लोगों ने अखबार में VC फंडिंग, एंजल फंडिंग किया कि हमें लगता था यार ये कोई फ्री का पैसा बांट रहे हैं जो वापस नहीं देना. मेरे पास भी चूंकि 10,000 रुपये भी नहीं थे जब मैंने काम शुरू किया था. Salaries were very frugal at that point of time in till 1999 or 2000, and I quit my job in 94 after 7 years of service. मेरी शादी हो रखी थी. मेरे पास भी मेरा अपना खर्चा 500-600 रुपये महीने का स्कूटर का पेट्रोल और मेरा 500-600 रुपये गोल्ड फ्लेक पीता था मैं उस समय, तो उसका सिगरेट का. ये मुझे लगता था कि मैं कहीं से मांगूंगा नहीं, मेरी वाइफ से भी नहीं मांगूंगा. शी वॉज टीचिंग एट दैट टाइम जर्मन लैंग्वेज. तो मैंने अपने एक दोस्त को पूछा कि यार मुझे हर महीने 2,000 रुपये दे देगा 1 साल के लिए. तो मैं ट्राई करना चाहता था कि गवर्नमेंट जॉब तो है नहीं कि छुट्टी तो दोबारा नहीं मिलेगी, आर्मी जॉब तो है नहीं. MBA कर लिया था तब तक पार्ट टाइम. तो आई थॉट अगर बिजनेस फेल भी हो गया तो 1 लाख रुपए साल का मैंने अपने आप को टारगेट दिया था कि अगर नेक्स्ट 1 साल मैंने 1 लाख रुपया कमा लिया, क्योंकि जब मैंने जॉब छोड़ी थी मेरी तनख्वाह 6,700 थी, विच वॉजंट एडिंग अप टू 1 ईयर, आई मीन 1 लाख रुपीज एन ईयर. सो आई गेव माई सेल्फ अ टारगेट कि अगर 1 लाख रुपया साल का कमा लिया तो मैं कंटिन्यू करूंगा, नहीं तो बायोडाटा छाप के वापस मार्केट में आ जाएंगे. एस्कॉर्ट्स नहीं तो हीरो होंडा नहीं तो कोई और. लकीली वन ऑफ आवर फ्रेंड्स आनंदवीर सिंह, कपल ऑफ देम, तब मोबाइल नहीं थे, कुछ नहीं थे, किसी को फ़ोन STD रात को 10 बजे के बाद 1/4 होती थी, तो अगर दोपहर को ख्याल है किसी बात करनी तो कागज़ पे लिख लेते थे, रात को 10 बजे फ़ोन करते थे उसको. So from that onwards, today we are doing a 50 crore rupees turnover for past quite some years. We were stagnated there, like 50 crore से ऊपर नहीं बढ़ पा रहे हैं. So
maybe now you need venture capital.
I need venture capital now maybe. So probably that brings me here, देखने के लिए कि ये वाली दुनिया कैसे काम करती है जब पैसे वापस नहीं देने पड़ते हैं.
यहाँ खाली पैसा देते हैं, मांगते नहीं हो.
जब मांगते नहीं है. I've been borrowing from banks, repaying. All my growth has been from borrowing, repaying. And that's life. पिछले 3 साल से बहुत फैसिनेट कर रहा था स्टार्टअप फंडिंग, एंजल इन्वेस्टर, VC फंडिंग, ऑल दैट थिंग. अभी 6 महीने से क्लैरिटी आ रही है कि शायद VC ज़्यादा सवाल पूछता है, बैंकर कम सवाल पूछता है.
सर एक और चीज़ बदल गया है. VCs have replaced banks and also लोग भी थोड़े बेशरम है. I think you were not very keen to get your wife's funding for a gold flake. मेरा 1 साल का खर्चा तो मेरी वाइफ से ही चल रहा है. मतलब लोग भी थोड़े और बेशरम हो गए, समय बदल गया है.
अच्छा, बाय द वे, एज यू राइटली सेड, मकान चूँकि फादर का था तो आई डेंट हैव टू पे रेंट. वाइफ चूँकि जॉब करती थी, उनकी 5-6 रुपये तनख्वाह थी, तो घर के दाल चावल का खर्चा टेक केयर था. जिसको मैंने पूछा मुझे 2,000 रुपये पर मंथ दे देगा, उसने बोला कल सुबह 25,000 डाल देता हूँ. ऑफकोर्स आई आस्क्ड अ गाय जिसके पास पैसे थे, तो उसने बोला कल सुबह डाल दो. आई टोल्ड हिम कि नहीं, डालने की जरूरत नहीं है, बिना मेरे मांगे, मैं मांगूंगा दे देना, उस दिन में 2 बार ही नहीं बोलना पड़े करके. तो ही सेड ओके, दैट इज लकीली फॉर मी इट नेवर हैपेंड. सो मुझे कभी भी वो 2,000 रुपये नहीं मांगने पड़े. फ्रॉम फर्स्ट मंथ इटसेल्फ आई कुड लेजिटिमेटली टैक्स पेड पैसे कमा पाया, और मैंने 6 लाख रुपए कमा लिए थे इन फर्स्ट 4 months after quitting the job. So yeah, okay.
Any other thoughts, questions, guys? Anybody's gone through? Yeah. So,
a question really, with some observation from the industry. Normally we hear that VCs are ready to back young people, because for a couple of reasons. One probably is that they are more energetic. And secondly is they're more maneuverable, right? But then as you grow older, you have seen the world more, so you also understand that you can't be fooled more, because obviously you are doing the hard work, so you don't want to be taken for a ride in terms of equity and share and terms and 3-page terms and conditions and so on. So do you still think that, are you really looking for a VC? No, I mean, given his experience in the manufacturing industry.
look what you started here. This is totally unintentional.
No, actually, I'm not sure whether I should term it as VC funding or what. The idea is like public video conferencing. My company's name is Medinfi Connect Limited. I formed this company in 2002. At that point of time, ना FaceTime था, ना video conferencing public में होती थी. एक कंपनी थी विदेश संचार निगम लिमिटेड, VSNL. दिल्ली में गुरुद्वारा बंगला साहब के सामने उनका एक कमरा था जो वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग कराती थी. 35,000 रुपया पर आवर का वो चार्ज करती थी. खाली बैठा होता था, उसके पास अपॉइंटमेंट लेने जाओ, मुझे US में वीडियो कॉल करनी है किसी के साथ, 2 फरवरी को जाओगे, बोलेगा 26 फरवरी को आना. क्यों भाई? शेड्यूल नहीं है, रजिस्टर देखा पूरा खाली है, कमरा खाली है. 25 दिन बाद की अपॉइंटमेंट देता था. तो इट स्टक माई माइंड कि कैपेक्स मैं लगाऊंगा. मैं 35,000 के बजाय हम अपनी सेंसिटिविटी एनालिसिस करते थे कि बहुत बुरा हो गया, 25,000 रुपया घंटा, बहुत बुरा हो गया 20,000 रुपया घंटा, कंपटीशन 35 पे है, हम 5,000 रुपये 2,500 रुपये घंटे पे ब्रेक इवन होता था हमारा, अगर महीने में सिर्फ 10 दिन भी हो जाए तो. एंड वी कुड फोरसी कि नोएडा, हेमंत और मैं, ये नोएडा में, मैं गुड़गांव में हूँ, वी मीट ओनली इन बैंगलोर और पौंडीचेरी और समवेयर, वी डोंट मीट इन दिल्ली. ओके, सो एंड वी मीट once or twice in a year. I could foresee in 2002 that this was going to happen. The traffic will go so bad, lives will become so busy. I could not raise money at that point of time. मैंने अपने पैसों से 6 या 7 स्टूडियो खोले. Obviously इस ऐसी चीज़ों के लिए तुम्हें स्केल चाहिए. 200 चीज़ें, 200 यूनिट्स काम कर रही हो, 100 यूनिट काम कर रही हो, तब एक ये मॉडल सक्सेसफुल होगा. 8 ऑफिसेज में तो वो फेल होना ही था, तो वो हुआ. माई कंपनी नेम कंटिन्यूज. आई एम स्टिल इन टू मैन्युफैक्चरिंग. Now also there are 2 or 3 such ideas, not software, not software as a service or something. They're purely related to manufacturing only. For example, maybe I am thinking of, okay, let me disclose it here. जो car parking है automatic वाली, उसको as a rental model, like उसको अगर रेंटल मॉडल, मैं आपको कार पार्किंग का सोल्यूशन बेचने जाऊं तो आप मुझे एक पैसे देंगे, लेकिन वो फेल हुआ है, दिल्ली में भी फेल हुआ है, बॉम्बे में फेल हुआ है. अगर मैं एज अ सर्विस उसको दूं कि मैं आपसे पर 150 रुपीज़ लूँगा, 100 रुपीज़ लूँगा कार पार्किंग के, तो दिस काइंड ऑफ बिजनेस मॉडल विल नीड मनी, सम पेशेंट कैपिटल. नाउ वेदर इट इज VC कैपिटल और समथिंग एल्स, आई एम नॉट इवन in fact I'm sure about that.
Probably not.
Maybe that somebody, he just said it,
I'll
probably
just-
angel investor.
I'll just take Shoma's question and get back the focus. See, I don't think it's a matter of age. And if you feel the VC is not going to put money because you've got grey hair and you're a smart guy, VC at the end of it, he's a money lender. So he has to see a good exit in 5-7 years. So white hair, black hair, no hair, frankly nothing matters. And right today you're seeing more and more young guys getting funded because they are very technically savvy and they have the right skill sets and tools. I mean, the oldies just don't get it. They don't have those skill sets. So I don't think it's to do anything with age. And if you can solve a problem, and the VC looks at his return, nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, I got funded at 45 when I came out, and I got funded again in spite of not delivering a success, because I think in this case, I wouldn't generalize anything. In this case, the VC is convinced that the entrepreneur is in. It's not playing a game here. That chala to chala, nahi chala to dusre mein jayenge. So my first one is still running, and this commencement is what we started, which is completely different. Now, he had a lot of arguments on what business what should be the structure of the business that I'm going to put. And so you're right, VCs have a lot more questions than bankers have, because bankers are looking for a collateral. Doesn't really matter. And look what they've ended up with in this country, with giving money to people who didn't deserve it or who didn't respect it. So yeah, but there are all kinds of money in the world, and let us not assume that one class of money, which is say a venture capitalist, is going to give money for all kinds of businesses. They don't, because as he said, they're looking for an exit in 5 to 7 years. So that's their construct. 5 to 7 years exit. That's their construct. There's a longer term money for longer term projects. And then there is angels who are thinking completely different. Maybe they're just having a hobby of who knows. I mean, I love the guy, I want to help him. I don't want to go from this world thinking that I didn't help this guy who had a great promise. Then there are other people who are philanthropers, who are just giving it away. So there are all classes of money, and I think we need to respect the money and the wealth the way it comes. And there are horses for races, right? And we shouldn't try to fit the square peg in the small hole and all that stuff, a round hole and all that, because that's when the discontent comes. And one of the things which engineers have learned very little about is actually money. That's what we see in our school, because we are hiring, and that's okay. I mean, because that was never the focus of their education and so on. We learn that as we become more senior and we start playing with that more. So, but the truth is that it's amazing, with all the money that has been in this country, it took foreign capital to come in and fund crazy ideas, right? Because we do this for a living. We'll work with investors all the time. And there are people in Bombay who want to get into the action into Bangalore, but they just don't know how to get in. Right? I went to ask for 1 crore. They said, we don't give anything less than 100 crores. Right? They don't know what to do with 1 crore in Bombay. Right? That's the problem. So there is more money than you need, and you will not get the money when you want. Right? So both of them are realities. But the truth is, that was the question on age, I would really want to settle that issue. That I agree with Hemant that I don't think age is an issue on this, but there will be questions. I think age goes against us, not against the VC. Are we willing to answer his questions? Are we going to be as open as younger people to say, okay, I'm an idiot, you told me just I'm an idiot, so how can I become better? Right? So if that guy called me an idiot, I'm going to walk out of that room. So rather than spar with the guy on why did you just call me that? Why do you think I don't understand this business? You've never been there, but I've been there, I've been working. What are your questions? What are your concerns? He will say something like, I need an exit in 7 years, and you don't have it in your business plan. There's no way that this business plan can get an exit in 7 years, so I can't give you that money. So that's for somebody who's been funded only after 45 and never got funded when we were 22. Right? I went around because, of course, there was no venture capital in the country at that point in time. So, any other questions? Because I didn't want to sort of occupy the rest of the evening because as interesting as this topic is, and first I thought it would be about these guys, but it looks like the more widespread question around here. Any observations on any of the comments these guys made around the challenges they had around people, friends, families, that they, you have to displease a lot of people. He also said that, he didn't feel a thing about, living off the money he didn't have or his wife was earning, right? Any question? Yeah, Shankar.
So my question to the panelists was basically, as Subhash was talking about, how do you go about mentoring? Do you have a set of people planned out? How regularly do you approach them? Do you approach them when you have a problem, or are they ready to help you out? How do you specifically go about it?
इसके लिए मैं बस यही बोल सकता हूँ, कोई रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है यार. मतलब आपको क्लैरिटी होनी चाहिए कि मुझे एग्जैक्टली चाहिए क्या. मतलब इतनी क्लैरिटी तो आपको लेके जाना पड़ेगा. मुझे पता ही नहीं कि मुझे क्या चाहिए, तो नोबडी कैन हेल्प मी. ये क्लैरिटी मुझे होनी चाहिए कि मुझे किस एरिया में, मुझे डिज़ाइन में हेल्प चाहिए, मुझे प्रोडक्शन में हेल्प चाहिए, या मुझे केवल और केवल मेंटरिंग इन टर्म्स ऑफ वैसे गाइडेंस चाहिए कि क्लैरिटी ऑफ थॉट्स मिल जाए मुझे, या फिर आई एम जस्ट स्ट्रगलिंग विथ लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग्स एट द सेम टाइम. तो मुझे कोई ये बोल दे कि नहीं एक एक करके डील करो. आपको बस ये समझना पड़ेगा कि आपको एग्जैक्टली क्या चाहिए, उसके हिसाब से देयर आर पीपल ऑलरेडी.
So then don't you think the reality is that a lot of times you do not know what you do not know? A lot of time you do not know your weakness.
Then know what you don't want to know. क्या नहीं करना ये पता कर लो. अगर क्या करना ये नहीं पता है तो it's simple, it's not that complicated.
To begin with, you move in this circle available to you. You have 10 friends, 2 relatives, etc. etc. इन 15 में से किन्हीं 3 की बात तुम्हें बहुत और की समझ आती है. तुम्हें लगता है यार ही गेट्स इट, और वो तुम्हारी अपनी सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट के लिए हो कि तुम ये बुरा करते हो. वही बात तुम्हें एक दोस्त कहता है कि ये तुम बुरा करते हो, तुम्हें बुरी लगती है. वही बात दूसरा आदमी जब तुम बोलता है तुम बुरा करते हो, उसका पैकेजिंग ऐसा होता है कि तुम्हें बुरा नहीं लगता है. यू पॉजिटिवली टेक इट कि यार ही इज़ राइट, ये मेरे में शॉर्ट कमिंग है. व्हेन ही टेल्स यू टू मेक सम प्रोसेसेस और समथिंग लाइक दैट. नाउ ओवर टाइम अब तुम समझ चुके हो कि यार मुझे इन 3 लोगों की बात समझ आती है. सुभाष द सेम थिंग मुझे समझ आता है. हेमंत सेज द सेम थिंग मुझे नहीं समझ आता है, या मान लो रूड लगता है, कुछ भी ऐसा हो सकता है. देन आफ्टर दैट आई वुड स्ट्रांगली एडवाइज कि इसको अब स्ट्रक्चर कर लो द वे ही इज सेइंग. शुरू में लेट इट फ्लो टिल यूर डिस्कवरिंग. और जब तुम्हारे को वो 2-3 लोग मिल चुके हों जो कि फॉर्मल मेंटर्स नहीं हैं, बट उसके बाद स्ट्रक्चर कर लो. जॉट डाउन योर क्वेश्चंस, throw it to them, learn the answers and grow from there on. Yeah?
एक और चीज़ ऐड करनी है मुझे. It's not about the real people. It's there are plenty of more ways. Music is also one thing which can actually give you clarity. Books are there, quotes are there. So आपको अपना माइंड भी समझना पड़ेगा. किसी और का तो बाद में समझेंगे, पहले आपको अपने माइंड को समझना पड़ेगा कि मेरा माइंड किस तरीके से ड्राइव होता है, कौन कौन सी चीज़ें हैं जिससे मैं वापस बैलेंस हो जाता हूँ. तो यू कैन जस्ट क्रिएट रीस्टोर पॉइंट्स एंड रीएनिमेट दोज पॉइंट्स.
वाओ. So on that note, we'll conclude the session. I think this discussion was more to, sort of, it was not something which we were going to conclude in a half an hour session here, but to sort of create more questions around it, which we can take it offline and, after the sessions are over today. The idea here is entrepreneurship is for anyone, provided they have the passion, they found the passion, and they have the confidence that the passion is valid. Then you can go against even the people you have never gone against, right? And or you will go against every naysayer around you. You will go against people who don't give you money, and you will change your business to what will survive without external money. You'll get funded by your customers. You will do whatever it takes for taking that passion forward, because what is not acceptable to you is to let go of that passion, let go of that opportunity, let go of that idea. It's just consuming you. It's sort of making you sleepless. That's probably the only catch here. And once you've got that, I don't think there's age or time or even era that matters, because we're entrepreneurs all the time. It might look weird to some people that some people started off with money that they don't have to return. But believe me, this kind of money has always been around, not for everyone. It's not there for everyone even today. So some things never change. Something looks like they're changing, but it's not there. I mean, if venture capital was so easy, everybody in Bangalore who has an idea should have venture capital by now. Yeah. The truth is, it's not. I mean, you're coming from Delhi to figure this out, but people in Bangalore have not figured it out, right? So thanks a lot for your attention, and thanks to my panelists. Give them a big hand.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
You just say bring the coffee there.